Hello once again and welcome to the special transmission of Psl Final that is happening in Karachi right now, and the news from the centre is that Quetta is well joined by my fellow anchor Mr. Ali Gohar. Ali, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, looking snappy, Ali.
Thank you so much.
Loving the tie.
Thank you so much. What do you make of the match? I mean, the opening ceremony has started, the atmosphere is electrifying in Karachi. What do you make of it?
Firstly, let's get one thing straight. This is just bigger. We know this is bigger than a cricket match. Yeah. We've had 8 games in Karachi. Now we're at the final stage, and just to see the jam-packed crowd, you know, having cricket back in Pakistan, Ali, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what it's all about. And then we've got Quetta has their full strength team, which they didn't have in the past, and so does Peshawar Zalmi. Everything has gone off swimmingly, and this all just goes to show that Pakistan is a wonderful and safe place to play cricket. I mean, this is a massive moment, and I hope we capitalize on this.
Absolutely. And what do you make of the Carlos Pearl coming to the ground and interacting with the people there? I mean, this is big.
I mean, gorgeous. It's just...
Okay, we just got the news that first wicket has fallen from Peshawar Zalmi. It was Mohammad Hussain. No surprises there that getting the wicket of Imamul Haq, the informed Imamul Haq. There again, one more time.
Very good delivery there, banging it into the surface, seeing that Imamul Haq was trying to come down the track and unsettle him, but the youngster wasn't phased. He banged it into the surface, didn't time it, and the first wicket's down. That's a huge moment for Quetta, asking Peshawar to bat. It raised a few eyebrows. You normally bat on this Karachi.
Even I was concerned about that.
I mean, that's been the general trend there, but obviously Sarfaraz is backing his bowlers to restrict Peshawar. Quetta have a fantastic bowling attack. Maybe he's a little bit unsure about his death bowling because they have gone the distance from time to time, and we know that Quetta's top order, and with Umar Akmal in the middle, they'll feel confident about chasing down any target. But this is a wonderful start, getting rid of the informal.
Absolutely. Okay, just coming to the toss. I mean, in this such a big game, the final of PSL, the stadium is jam packed. You would want to bat first, but here Sarfaraz again backing their batting line on one more time.
Well, Sarfaraz obviously
is it the comfort that he has in chasing? Or
yeah, I think so. I think he, like I said, he backs his side to chase down any target really. Although I still feel Peshawar have a more explosive batting lineup, especially down the order. Kieron Pollard and Darren Sammy are in a fantastic form. I just feel like Quetta is a little bit top heavy at this stage. If Watson doesn't fire, then they tend to struggle. But obviously he's backing his bowlers. And while they haven't done particularly well at the death, they have a very experienced bowling attack, a bowling attack which is usually very good in the power play. I'm surprised to see Hussain on so early. Doesn't usually come on this early, but hey, it's worked. You know, they wanted to break this opening partnership because they've been going very well. We saw what they did in the last game.
I think they certainly have a plan against Imamul Haq, and then there you see that is the release shot that Imamul Haq has. I mean, he steps down and play that big shot whenever he's in trouble.
I was fair thought for this young boy. You're bursting onto the scene, loaded with talent and pace. And what's been so impressive about him, Ali, is not just his pace, but his control, his thought process. He's consistently getting it into the right areas, and he bowls these heavy deliveries, like the one he bowled to Imamul Haq was a heavy delivery, and now he's wrapped him on the pads. He's gone across the line as Maqsood, but he's gotten away with it. I wonder if they're going to go upstairs. Sarfaraz Ahmed is consulting with his fielder at mid-on. I have a sneaky feeling they're going to go for it.
Well, let's see. It looked high to me, although I tell you from here, because I thought it might be going down. Yes, as Hussain is suggesting also to Sarfaraz that it might be missing the leg stump. How huge it would be that getting 2 wickets early, and if they get out, if they get this.
Well, let's just go through the process here now. It's a fair delivery, so they're going to move on to front-on vision there. Again, good delivery by Hussain, testing the batsman with his pace.
It looked high, Ali. It looks high, and maybe just going down.
Perhaps it's going down, but for the looks of it, it could be going down. But the reason why they went for the review, Ali Yunus, is because he's gone across the line, and you could tell he was beaten by pace. Let's see here.
And so Sohaib has this habit of going across and playing. Oh yes, it is a little high, as we discussed.
Good call, Ali.
Yeah, it looked high. I mean, Hussain is inexperienced. Sarfaraz is behind the wickets. He should have known that this is going to miss the wickets.
Again, I think he consulted mid on and mid off. they would have had the best view of it, and it's because Maqsood went across the line, so far across the line. That's why they decided to go for
that has been the weakness of Shoaib Maqsood. He gets so across the line, especially early on in the inning, that it's easier for an in-swinger bowler to get him out there. LBW.
Well, clearly it's worked bringing Hasnain on early, but what was the wisdom behind that in your opinion, Ali, bringing Hasnain early on into the piece?
I think they want to get Kamran Akmal out with the pace. That's because they've been threatened by Kamran Akmal's form that he is in. So I believe that could be the only reason. Or maybe that Sarfraz in the toss mentioned about the dew, so he wants to utilize his fast bowler as early as...
Certainly looking to get Akmal out with 2 slips and a gully. You don't often see that in T20 cricket. They're dying to get Kamran Akmal out, but he bounces on a short and wide delivery away to the boundary for 4. He's in superb form, isn't he? You can't bowl that stuff to him.
Right, and with that we've been joined by senior sports anchor Raja Asad Abbas. Hello Asad bhai.
I'm fine, and it was nice to hear you doing ball-by-ball commentary. It's mine.
Thank you so much. That's what we decided to make this interactive session. What do you make of the match at the moment? And Quetta winning the toss and fielding first on such a pressure game with jam-packed stadium. What do you make of it?
Well, today is a grand day for Pakistan cricket history, and of course, my congratulations and my appreciation goes to everybody who is involved in it, especially the federal government, the PCB, the law enforcement agency, the Pak Army, and of course those who are hand to hand with making this event a success. And familiarizing with such festivity and ambience, I believe that Karachiites will long be remember this grand finale of this very high-profile final of the PSL 4th edition.
Absolutely, and we must say that the Karachiites have been treated back with some excellent cricket from some very competitive 8 matches of PSL.
Of course, it's really a dream come true. The way the people are familiarizing and re-familiarizing with the taste of T20. It's certainly a treat, and they have been rewarded. I tell you, Karachiites have a great patience. When their law and order situation was not according to the standards. But still, playing Karachi with 8 consecutive matches means something. And, that brought some respect to the Pakistanis, the Pakistani government and the PCB, that they are the people with the job. They can host a big event in a befitting manner. So that is a very good sign as far as the image of the PCB or the government is concerned all over. So now we can look forward to have full-fledged, like our Prime Minister has promised, that the next episode or the edition will all be played in Pakistan. So we should start, preparing now onward. And today I think, is a landmark day as far as Pakistan cricket history is concerned.
Absolutely, this certainly is a landmark for PCB and Pakistan itself. What do you make of the match tonight? I mean, Sarfraz winning the toss and doing what he does the best, bowling first.
I think he thought very much the way all the captains have been thinking and making decisions. Bowling first. First of all, there's the pressure, when you first enter the ground in the arena. Secondly, this has been tradition of this, or you can say, a consistent decision of the captains, the winning captains, to win the toss and elect it to field. To my thinking, I think that shows something, a very defensive approach, because the cricket is all about planning and strategy. Winning toss and then going for batting or going for bowling doesn't mean that you are guaranteed for a victory. I think Sarfraz took the initiative, but still there's a long way to go, because today is altogether in different ball game. As far as gladiators are concerned, I personally feel, and I described to you yesterday in last paper, that still I believe that gladiators, they have upper hand as far as this final is concerned, because of recent past history and of course their mental strength. Besides other matter, I think Peshawar can do upset. I would use the word upset, because they have been inconsistent with their fielding and of course bowling. Though they have a very good pace attack, but still I believe with all the department of the game, Gladiators looks favored till now.
Absolutely. And what score would Gladiators be comfortable, or what score would they be looking to restrict Peshawar Zalmi on?
As far as this final is concerned, I think 200 plus should be minimum. and it's not guaranteed, I tell you, because the onslaught of the players like Ahmad Shahzad and then some all-rounders like Bravo, Suhail Tanveer can have his big hand. Then there are some other backing genius like Sarfaraz. So you may expect something extraordinary from Zalmi, and so is the Gladiators, which I was mentioning you. They got from top to bottom good hand, and chasing 190, 200 plus is not a difficult task at all. And you see the height of the ball that is coming up. The ball is coming at a beautiful height. That means that pulling and cutting, and of course driving would be much more easier as compared to the normal practice of this league so far. So I believe that 200 plus would be a safe total to defend with.
Right. Thank you so much, Raja Asad, for being on the line. Ali, 200. Would that be comfortable for Quetta, or do you think with the bowling line of Peshawar Zalmi?
Look, 200 on this Karachi track is definitely achievable. It's been done before in the 7 matches that we've seen. We're into the 8th now, the final. In finals, Ali, if a safe score is 200, 210, you can subtract that by, I'd say, even 20 runs, because the pressure of a final, chasing in a final, in a packed house, that's no easy task. I mean, cast your mind back to the last final in Karachi. It was Islamabad and Peshawar. Islamabad managed to restrict Karachi, I think a little bit under 150, or maybe it was 150, something like that. And it was a good batting wicket. Ronki got them off to a fabulous start, but then they fell away a little bit, so much so that Peshawar were in with a chance. It was only Asif Ali's late little cameo towards the end that saw Islamabad over the line. So this is if they get a good start, which Kamran Akmal is hell bent on giving them. He's just smashed Nawaz into the mid wicket boundary for 6. Nawaz finally coming on in the power play was what he usually does. He looks to restrict the batsman. But Akmal obviously has different ideas. Fabulous shot.
Absolutely. The type of form Kamran Akmal is, this type of bowling, this type of short length bowling wouldn't disturb him much.
This is not going to phase him. I mean, he's a completely different batsman in Karachi. We saw in the UAE, the ball wasn't coming on the way he usually likes, but now he's free to, because the ball's coming onto the bat nicely. He likes to cut and pull. He also likes to get underneath the spinners. Again, looking to go towards cow corner. This time it's all along the ground, and he gets a boundary. This is exactly what and Peshawar were looking for. They needed to get off to a rollicking start. They lost the early wicket of Imam ul Haq, but Kamran Akmal and they'll be hoping that this momentum continues.
Absolutely, and with the type of late middle order batting Peshawar Zalmi has, if 10 overs from Kamran Akmal, they're in for a big score.
Oh sure, and you've got to admire the way Kamran Akmal has come out there after losing the an early wicket of Imam ul Haq. He hasn't gone into his shell. He's making sure that he puts pressure on this very very good Gladiators attack. You see a lot of batsmen do go into their shell after losing their opening partner early, but Kamran Akmal is not doing that.
Absolutely, and certainly looking that Imam ul Haq has played so well with him in the last 2 matches, that is so Kamran is so comfortable with Imam ul Haq. It's very important for Sohaib Maqsood to give strike back to Kamran Akmal at the moment. The type of form he is in.
Well, Maqsood just hit a boundary. He hasn't been in the best of form, has Maqsood, but we do know he can strike a long ball. Maybe this is his time, the final of the PSL, but right now Kamran Akmal is on strike, and he's immediately gone after Mohammad Nawaz, which is the right thing to do. You can't just let a bowler like Nawaz in the power play bowl to you. Again, he's cut that away and hasn't found
that is the beauty of Kamran Akmal. He can hit you through mid wicket, and then on the next ball he can cut you also. So that is the variety of shots that Kamran Akmal has.
No, he's tremendously talented. I think his talent has never been in question. It's about his consistency at the international level. But in the PSL, yeah, he didn't have a great start to this PSL, but now since we've come to Karachi, he's been absolutely devastating. The margin for error is so small, and again through cover, over extra cover for 4 inside out. Just as you said, you know, he can go through the onside and over the offside.
Covers too, and yes, exactly. That is the type of start that Peshawar is looking at, and Kamran Akmal, exactly providing them that with his blistering form. I think he is in the form of his life. What are you thinking of a place in Pakistan national team, Ali? What do you say with such form?
I mean, I don't want to get into that right now, but the way he's going, look, he's batting very well. I mean, making room, going over cover. Now looking to go down the track, and he's been defeated in the flight. Nawaz has struck a wonderful comeback by the left-arm finger spinner, defeating Kamran Akmal. That's a huge wicket for the Gladiators.
Yeah, that will dent the chances of Peshawar Zalmi for getting that big score, Ali.
Yeah, but just a very, very strange shot by Kamran Akmal.
Absolutely. There was no need of this. I mean, you've already got 10 runs off the over, and then coming down on a half-pitched ball.
Sarfaraz understands the importance of that wicket. He was tucking into Nawaz, hit him for a 6 over mid-wicket and 2 boundaries. I mean, to play a shot like that at this stage of the innings, when you already have the momentum, when you've got, when you've already created a good over for your side, that was the last thing Kamran Akmal needed to do. It was a very poor shot, but good on Nawaz for holding his nerve.
Absolutely, he didn't panic. He still gave the ball air and gave that chance to Kamran Akmal to come down the wicket and got his wicket.
I mean, that's what you need to do, right? I know it's difficult for spinners to give air, especially during the power play, but Nawaz was going flat earlier on, and it didn't work for him. Akmal was getting underneath it. He even made some room to hit him over the offside, and it worked. So at least by giving it air, yes, you can get hit for a 6 over the air. He can go over, the batsman can go over the infield, but you still give yourself a chance to pick up a wicket, and that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely, and picking up a wicket of somebody like Kamran Akmal, who's in excellent form, it is huge for Quetta at the moment.
I mean, look, they've got their openers, and we saw what Akmal and Imam, we know what they're capable of. They did it against Islamabad, putting on a sizzling 135-run partnership. So this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Quetta. This is exactly what they were looking for, to get rid of Imam and Kamran Akmal early on. Kamran Akmal was threatening them. He was looking very, very dangerous, but Nawaz has got him in the end. He's won the war.
It's got the commentator's curse here from you. You were so into it that Kamran Akmal is going to score runs.
Well, he was batting well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked me a question right now, Ali, about earlier on, before Akmal got out, about his place in the international side. You see, this is one of the reasons. Let's take nothing away from him. He's a wonderful player, but a shot like that at that stage of the innings, with so much experience under his belt, just goes to show, you know, I mean, Kamran Akmal's judgment sometimes is, you need to question it at times, don't you?
I think over here, I think he was trying too hard to get that big start from in those 6 over. He wanted to capitalize those 6 over. I think that was the pressure he had on himself, batting first, because batting first on such track, you need to have scored somewhere close to 200.
I mean, the point is, he had already done it. He had got the over that he wanted by hitting Nawaz for 6 and 2 fours. That's what we want of Mohammad Nawaz, who's an excellent bowler in the power play. He had done his job, but clearly he was looking to overachieve. And you mentioned Maqsood as well. He's still out there. I think he's just hit a boundary through the covers of Dwayne Bravo. It's very important that Peshawar keep this momentum going. Yes, they've lost Imam and and Kamran Akmal in the last over, but it's very important that Maqsood and Amin look to get Peshawar back on track and hopefully get them to that score of 200.
It's going to be very important for both of them. I mean, Sohaib Maqsood and Umar Amin, they've been out of the international side, and this is the right platform for them, scoring big in the finals. It will be huge for them if they can carry on.
It's a very good opportunity. Look, it's a fabulous batting track. Let's make no mistake about that. So this is the perfect opportunity for them to get going. Yes, it's a final. Yes, it's a pressure game. But these two boys have talent, and this is how you become. You can become a star. How you become a hero. You're just after losing Imam and now a Kamran Akmal, Peshawar is gun players. They'll be under heaps of pressure. But it's moments like this that make players. Maqsood and Umar Amin have always been at the periphery of the Pakistan side, and this is their moment to shine against a packed house.
Absolutely, we'll have to wait and see how they go about in this match, because this is obviously a huge opportunity for both of them. Somebody like Umar Amin, who's almost knocking on the doors of international side, and if he can perform here in this big match, that will be huge for his career. But he's up against Dwayne Bravo and his variation. Oh, you don't want these.
You don't want these fields at this stage.
Absolutely, and that's Umar Akmal doing a mess of the ball. I think it's these little things that's going to make.
It's all about pressure, isn't it? I mean, this is a final in front of a packed house. It can happen to even the best, no doubt. Umar Akmal is.
But you don't expect something like this from a seasoned campaigner like Umar Akmal.
From a seasoned campaigner.
This is not the first final that he's playing.
And a wonderful fielder. But these things happen. These things can happen. You can see Dwayne Bravo is disappointed with that one. But again, Quetta have the momentum now. They're in front after getting rid of the openers. They now, and Sarfaraz knows how to do this. He's a brilliant captain. You can bet your bottom dollar that he's going to keep the pressure on Amin and Maqsood.
Absolutely. And at the toss, Sarfaraz did mention about the due. Would that be in his mind when he opted to ball first? Because there are chances of the due, and if that happens,
look, I mean, a few reasons. One could be the due, a very big reason. Secondly, like I said, Sarfaraz with this Quetta side doesn't mind chasing. He's got a bowling attack filled with variety, as we've seen, like the guile of Mohammad Nawaz and the pace of Hasnain. Then you've got Dwayne Bravo, who's a very experienced T20 cricketer, a T20 bowler. He backs them to restrict a powerful batting lineup like Quetta. But also, Ali, one thing I want to mention, I think they're playing on a used wicket here. So it may not, even though the ball is still coming on beautifully, maybe Sarfaraz thinks, okay, this is not, the pitch isn't as true as, the first game or the second game. That could be a factor as well.
But if that was a used wicket, he should have batted first then, because in the second time, the ball is gone a turn. And Darren Sammy's captaincy, again, no spinner there. Are you surprised on that?
No, because it's been working for them. I did say at one point that Peshawar's bowling may be a little bit one-dimensional, but the fact is, if you've got a battery of fast bowlers that are consistently finding the right areas and executing those Yorkers and their variations, I'm mainly thinking of Tamal Mills now, they'll be very difficult to stop, very difficult to charge and get underneath.
Absolutely, and I always say they're not just fast bowlers, they're good fast bowlers. They've got good heads on their shoulders, because like Terra Mills, we've got Jordan there, Hassan Ali, they're all champions in their own teams.
I mean, this is where, again, like Peshawar will also back themselves to be able to defend any target, even in a final, if they manage to make 160. Sammy will back his bowlers to defend that. I mean, Wahab, not only has he been picking up wickets, he's been miserly, something you don't associate with Wahab Riaz. I mean, not often do you see Wahab's figures. I mean, how often have we seen him picking up 2 for 26 or 3 for 26? So he's improved tremendously. Hassan Ali takes wickets up front. Tamal Mills, he's got pace, and he's got lovely variations as well. And then they have Chris Jordan in there too. So there's a lot to look forward to, a lot of talent there.
Absolutely. One good thing that these young fast bowlers that we have got from PSL, somebody like Hasnain, somebody like Haris Rauf, that they have pushed those superstars to a corner. I mean, they really need to work hard now to get their position in the Pakistan team.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, Pakistan's fast bowling talent, it's been there since as long as I can remember. But I want to talk about this man, who's on your screen, who may have created a chance here and dropped. Never going to be easy running back. Ahmed Shahzad dropping that one.
Disappointing.
Fuad immediately, who's been one of the best spinners in this PSL, immediately creating an opportunity against Sohaib Maqsood. He didn't get hold of it. But to be fair, Ali, it was not an easy catch. Running back under lights, it's never easy.
Probably he should have let Bravo take that one, because running back was certainly not easy, and would have been easier for Bravo to take that in front. But yes, Ahmed Shahzad, making a mess out of this, and Fawad, he's already injured and now angry also.
Well, I don't blame him, but it wasn't an easy catch, to be honest. Maybe at this level it should have been taken, but as I said, running back under lights, it's not easy. But Fawad will try again. Quetta got off to a fabulous start, and they have the bowlers to restrict Peshawar Zalmi, and Sarfaraz will be relying heavily on this man Fawad. You were talking about his injury, Ali. This is what happened in the last game when he was hit smack on the face.
Yeah, he's lucky to be there, that he just had minor injury and he can come and play in a couple of days. He is really lucky here.
I mean, looking at that, I think it hit his hand, it hit his fingers, and then it went on to the mouth. I think that sort of softened the blow a little bit. But yeah, Quetta, they should be very happy that he's out there, because he's crucial to their cause. There hasn't been, in my opinion, I think we should have been talking about this guy more, Fuad Ahmed from Australia. There's been a lot of talk about Umar Khan and how talented he is there. He's trapped Umar Amin on the back foot.
Yeah, the good thing about him is that he's not afraid, he's not scared to give the air to the ball. I mean, whether he's being hit or to the boundaries, he still gives that air to the ball.
It doesn't come as a surprise to me that he's bowling so well. I mean, we've seen over the last year.
Yeah, look at that again. He's giving that air to the ball, and that is difficult for the batsman to get away.
As I was mentioning, over the last year, leg spinners have been so good in T20 cricket. It doesn't come as a surprise to me that Fuad has been so successful. He's worked very, very hard on his craft since he moved to Australia, and then he was selected for Australia as well. Didn't get off to the best start, but you can tell he's worked very hard on his bowling. He's been brilliant at the Big Bash, and now in the PSL, I'm sure the Australian selectors will be looking at him very closely.
Yes, that's one thing I wanted to discuss that with you. That all these overseas players, all these like somebody like Ingram and Livingstone, they're all trying to make a place in their national sides, and performing here as a batsman in PSL, that would give a huge boost to them and their selectors that are coming here performing against such quality bowling.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, their selectors are connected. They're not just looking at their domestic circuit. They'll be seeing how their players go in Pakistan and in the UAE. Because let's not forget, I mean, the PSL, I think it was Shane Watson and a few other players who said it, that in terms of bowling, this is clearly this tournament is clearly the most challenging. The bowling has been very, very difficult starting from season 1 to now.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree on that. And scoring here, somebody like Ingram scoring 100, that is a boost for him.
Oh, no doubt about that. I mean, this is huge for the foreign international players as well. It's just great to see that that all of them made the trip. That's what's made this PSL so exciting. The vibe is just something else. And as we've been discussing throughout, Ali, this is such a big moment for Pakistan cricket. I mean, everything has gone according to plan. All the players are here. We've had big crowds in. The pitches have played very, very well. We've seen great entertainment. We've got young local talent, especially fast bowlers coming in. A spinner in Umar Khan. International players are feeling confident about coming to Pakistan. They've been greeted so well, treated so warmly. They absolutely adore being here. You just need to go on Facebook and Instagram especially to see how much fun they're having.
Absolutely. And we just saw in the presentation that Jonty Rhodes, we have been out on the streets driving Harley Davidson in Karachi. I mean, that is something very, very great and very cool about that.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, these are the things that we need to do. This is how we market ourselves, and we can market ourselves through cricket. It's very, very important that we continue to do that, and this is why I've been saying that these 8 games in Karachi and now this final, this is a lot more than just cricket. This is about telling the world that Pakistan is a safe and welcoming place. We haven't been getting the best international press over the last 10, 15 years maybe. So this goes a long way in doing that, in reviving Pakistan's image. It's just important that we market ourselves effectively.
Absolutely. And talking about marketing, there's one question I really wanted to ask you is that these are the people who, okay, fine, this PSL is a huge brand. It's an excellent brand that we've made. But how about if we can concentrate on our local T20 domestic competition also, if we can put in half of the effort, even 25% of the effort that we put in PSL, that we can put in our local T20 tournament.
You hit the nail on the head there.
The same people sitting in the same building.
You've made a very important point here, and that desperately needs to happen. A lot more attention needs to be paid on domestic cricket. You've got to pay attention to that 4-day cricket, and of course our T20 domestic tournament, and even our 50-over tournaments. Again, we talked about marketing. We just don't know. We haven't been able to market ourselves effectively. Absolutely. I'm going to say something that's very unpopular here, but it's the truth. India have been able to do that well.
Absolutely.
They've marketed themselves well. And that's something we need to, I mean, what don't we have? What don't we have? God has given us everything.
Absolutely.
And now with social media, with the world at your fingertips, you can do these things, and this has been the failure, I believe, of whoever's involved in organizing these domestic tournaments.
Absolutely.
Nobody knows about it. Nobody even knows that there's a tournament going on in Pindi or Faisalabad. If I was 12 years old and I knew that someone like, I don't know, Umar Akmal or Imamul Haq or Hassan Ali was right next door playing in National Stadium Karachi or where I live in Pindi in Islamabad, I'd be rushing over there. But the fact is we don't know about it because we don't market it.
Absolutely. And why I say that, because this last T20 competition that we had, there were 31 international players, national players of Pakistan team playing in Multan, and there was not a single signboard, there was not a single billboard on the road.
And if there were signboards, you see, again, it was written in English. Firstly, it was incorrect.
Absolutely.
It was incorrect English, and you didn't know, and they weren't everywhere. They were just in a few obscure places.
Absolutely.
Right? So having billboards is fine. You should have them, but again, you've got to be all over social media.
You've got to go to the people to tell them to come to the ground and watch your 30 national players in Multan.
You see, you've started a very good discussion here. You see, PSL is an example of that. Ali, let me put it this way. I hope we have a little bit of time to discuss this, because this is very important. The fact that we haven't played that. We've got 8 games in Pakistan now. Before that, I think you had 4 or 5 games last season. Most of this tournament has been played in the UAE, which is why many thought that the PSL wouldn't take off. They thought it would fail. But that hasn't happened. Why hasn't that happened? Because the people at the helm, the organizers, young people who are involved with the teams like Islamabad United, Quetta Gladiators, they're young people who know how to market products. They know how to market their teams. Islamabad United is all over Instagram.
Absolutely.
All over Instagram. So is Lahore Qalandars. They do a very, very good job at that. And that's what that's what we've got to do here. You've got to take a leaf out of the PSL's book. They've been fabulous at that because they've hired the right people and they've hired young people.
But the thing that surprises me is that these are the same people that's running Pakistan Cricket Board's marketing also. They're the same people sitting in the same building and not concentrating on
I'm not sure if they're exactly the same people, but again, a league like this will always gain more attention. But let's get back to the cricket now. Umar Amin dancing down the track, looking to put pressure on the leg spinner, and he's hit him for 4. That'll give him a lot of confidence.
Absolutely, and in 7.3 overs, it's almost they're going with the run rate of 6 per over. You think they will fancy that they should play till 13th over until Sami and Pollard will come?
As I said, now it's Amin's job, and Maqsood's job to consolidate, as well as making sure that they that they keep up with the run rate. That they don't. It's important that they look to take singles, pick up the boundaries when it's on offer. They can't go for bends. Look to take their time a little bit, these 2 youngsters, but as I said, capitalize on anything that's loose, like Umar Amin did there. Quetta have gotten off to a great start, but Peshawar, there's still a long way to go. Peshawar have tremendous batting, tremendous depth.
Absolutely, and they have tremendous six-hitting abilities too. And but what if happens that Pollard or Dan Sami, any one of them gets out early? And then what happens? And they do not have that after that.
And they're not getting to 200. Simple as that.
And what would be the good score for Quetta to chase here? I mean, they're not certainly getting 180 against this such bowling, are they?
They could actually. They could get 180. I think even though I think Peshawar has a more powerful batting lineup, I think Quetta have handled themselves in pressure situations a little bit better than Zalmi. So if there's one team, although I think Zalmi have the more destructive batting lineup, I would back Quetta. If there's one team in the PSL, I would back Quetta to chase down 180. I think Sarfaraz Ahmed would be quite happy if they get 180. But as I said, in a final, it's a different kettle of fish. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. Let's concentrate on the game at the moment that is happening. So Maqsood, of course, playing a key inning for himself and for the team also. I mean, this would be a pressure inning.
I mean, ideally, Zalmi would have wanted Kamran Akmal out there with Imamul Haq, but that hasn't happened. They've managed 53 in 8.2 overs. They'll want to make sure that they keep up with the run rate. They're going at 6.36. they'll want to go a little bit quicker than that. I wouldn't be surprised if Maqsood looks to get after Nawaz, but so far Nawaz is doing quite well.
Absolutely, you don't want to leave a lot for the two West Indians at the end. You got to take this score till 130 and then maybe expect them to come and play those 5 innings.
I mean, you need to be aggressive. There's no doubt about that. They've got to pick up the run rate, no doubt about that. But they've also got to be thoughtful. You quite rightly mentioned you can't leave too much to Kieron Pollard and Darren Sammy down the order.
Absolutely, and yes,
Nawaz is both 3 deliveries there. Maqsood is under a great deal of pressure.
Again, this is where Nawaz is so good. I mean, with his line and with his length, actually, it's not the line; it's the length, basically, the way he balls there.
You're right. I mean, he's played a massive role for the Gladiators. Sarfaraz Ahmed has relied heavily on him, especially early on in the innings in the power play, and he's lived up to his potential. I think bowling in the power play is Nawaz's specialty in T20 cricket. There he's gone a bit short, and Amin pounces on that. He's good against spinners, Umar Amin, and he gets a boundary. That's exactly what Peshawar needed. Nawaz was bowling a tight over. They needed to break loose, and Amin pounces on a short delivery from Mohammad Nawaz, using the crease well. He does that well, doesn't he, Umar Amin? We talk about his ability against fast bowlers. He's also very capable against spinners. He uses the crease brilliantly against the slower bowlers.
I mean, it's so sad that somebody like Umar Amin, that he's with so much talent and so much, that he has a good head on his shoulder also. He was, at one point, he was one to look for the captaincy of Pakistan, but then losing his way.
Talent is one thing, Ali, but again, talent, of course, is very important, but match awareness. And some Pakistani cricketers have lacked that. And when you talk about guys like Ahmed Shahzad and Umar Akmal, they're extreme. Umar Akmal is one of the most talented batsmen I've seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, arguably very, very capable. Imran Azir had a great deal of potential. So does Umar Akmal, who's playing tonight. But again, they haven't been able to.
A youngster, it is the job of the coaches or the management to create that awareness in them, or it has to come naturally.
Look, the management certainly has a role to play. Coaches do have a role to play, as do captains, but at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer in this. Responsibility lies with the individual. I'm sure background or where you come from, and if you haven't been as exposed as others, yes, you are at a disadvantage. But I think when you've reached a certain level, you know the difference between right and wrong, and you've got to work. You've got to work hard on your game, and I'm very happy to see that Umar Akmal is finally doing that. He'll have a very important role to play in this final, especially if Peshawar get a big score.
Yes, and that will definitely...
Beautiful delivery there from Dwayne Bravo. You can see Sarfaraz G'ing him on there. That one cut Maqsood in half. It's not going to be easy for these youngsters. Yes, they've been out there for a while, but they've got to up the ante.
Yeah, they have to be very careful. They shouldn't be losing too many balls. I mean, look at that. So Maqsood is struggling on the wicket. He should get going a little bit.
Quetta will be very happy where they're at right now. They were hoping that Zalmi wouldn't get off to a flyer. They almost did, the way Kamran Akmal is going, but that didn't happen. Nawaz got him out, and now they've taken control of the game. Sarfaraz feels in control here. Maqsood has got that away. I think it'll beat the fielder at third man, and it's 4. Good shot there by Maqsood. It's important that he carries on and looks to put pressure on the Gladiators. He can't just let bowlers like Bravo and Nawaz bowl to him, and that is a very, very good shot. Beautifully played.
And it is so important for somebody like Maqsood to carry on, because he can excel.
That shot right there was an example of it. He played that ball very, very late and used his wrist very well. That's a full toss. I don't think he's connected that. Will it fall into no man's land? No, it won't. It's been taken. taken at long off. DJ Bravo has struck. That's exactly what he was looking for. The Karachi crowd seemed to be delighted with that one. It was a poor delivery, should have been put away, but just as we were discussing, my friend Ali Yunus, match awareness.
But I think he got beaten by the pace. This was a slow one. You know, the slow ones of Bravo, they really dipped to the back. Look at that.
Yeah, it did dip on him, but again, you know, you should be putting those away. He's been out there for some time. Maqsoodia just hit a boundary. That's not what Zalmi needed, but maybe some would argue because he wasn't going that well. Gives an opportunity for Karen Pollard to come out.
Might be a blessing in disguise to Peshawar
blessing in disguise to put some pressure on Quetta's bowlers, because right now they're behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely. And now if like, let's see, Karen Pollard comes to the crease, it won't be easier for him to come and right away start hitting sixes. He needs to get in for the few overs and get those scores to till maybe 100 and 120 now.
Well, yeah, obviously he has to bide his time. He even needed a little bit of time against Islamabad, and then he cut loose just at the right time. And a bowling attack, the bowling attack that he has at his disposal, it's going to be very, very difficult for Peshawar to come out of this.
I think we've got another one here.
No, those are the fall of wickets. That's the first wicket.
I thought Peshawar might be in more trouble here. I was scared for them.
Not yet. It'll take a bit of time for Karen Pollard to come out there, but that was the fall of the first wicket. As I said, good heavy delivery by Hasnain.
I would see that there is a huge weakness in Imam Ulhaq that I believe is he's got good balance when he's in the crease and playing, but he has to come in, he has to take that few steps to hit big shots.
I think Ali, more often than not, he's found a way around it. He has found a way around his weaknesses. And yes, he looked to charge Hasnain, but again, Hasnain, outthought him over there. He saw him coming down the wicket and he banged it in short. That's why he couldn't get a hold of it. So yes, you could blame Imam for that shot, but I'd like to give the bowler credit here for outthinking Imam Ulhaq. I've been very impressed with this youngster.
Shouldn't Imam's role should be there to give the strike to Kamran Akmal, not striking big for himself? We can argue on that, because Kamran Akmal is there for certain things.
Look, there's certain situations where you do play, where you have to play second fiddle, when it's a combination like Akmal and Imam, for example. And we've seen
Watson and Ahsan Ali.
You play second fiddle, but that doesn't mean you go into your shell and just occupy the crease. You have to bat with intent. You have to look to score runs. You have to look to hit boundaries and rotate the strike, and that's what Imam did so well in Peshawar's last game against Islamabad. Yes, Kamran Akmal was the main enforcer, but Imam Ulhaq was also striking the ball very nicely. It's a final delivery of Dwayne Bravo's over. He just picked up the wicket.
Oh, you don't want to run out at this time.
And Nabi is out there. Wait, they're going upstairs. I think there might be a run out here. Quetta looked very, very confident. Well, actually, Nawaz just said 50-50. My lip reading isn't that great, but Nawaz is saying 50-50. It'll be a disaster if they lose another wicket here.
I think he just made it. You just never know with these direct hits, they can be very crucial.
They can be, and Nawaz, I mean, we've talked about his bowling. He's a fantastic fielder. Great awareness there by Mohammad Nawaz. Nabi's out there. Bit of a surprise, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they just want. I think he's in there as a batsman, Nabi.
Sure.
So I think they want to secure that. They want to save those big hitters, both of them, Pollard and Semi, till the last maybe 8 to 10 overs.
I mean, I just feel like because they haven't got off to a great start, have Peshawar, Zalmi, the run rate, their run rate is a little bit low. I think Karen Pollard this was the right time for him to come out there to sort of to boost the run rate.
But the type of bowling the Quetta is bowling at the moment, and if Pollard gets out at this time, that there will be more trouble having Pollard back in the dugout. It just gives that security to the team.
But those risks have to be taken, as you said. Karen Pollard, like most batsmen, need a little bit of time. We're into the 10th over now. Only 10 overs to go. I think Pollard should have been out there, played a couple of overs, just got his eye in. I think Zalmi have missed a trick here. I'm not saying that Nabi's a bad batsman.
We haven't seen much of Nabi in this PSL, so you never know. He might come out as a surprise package.
I mean, exactly my point, right? You want someone who's been playing for a while, who's been striking the ball well, who's high on confidence. You've got to look, when you're in a situation like this, where you have your back to the wall, you've got to reply and respond with aggression. I think that would have sent a much better message if Darren Sammy had sent either himself or Kieron Pollard out there. You can't just let the Gladiators bowl to you. This is a very experienced, skillful bowling attack, and when they smell blood, more often than not, they strike.
Absolutely, and there are think tanks in Peshawar. Zalmi's camp. We have got Yunus Khan there. Mohammad Akram is there. They might have thought something.
Well, this left-hander certainly has other ideas. He's hit a six there, short delivery from Nawaz, and hitting it over mid-wicket for six. Nawaz has bowled a couple of short deliveries in this innings, but let's not forget he has picked up the very, very important wicket of Kamran Akmal. He's just got to look to keep things simple here, not try to do too much, bowl in those good areas to Umar Amin, because as I said, he's a very capable player against spin bowling.
Absolutely, I'm so looking forward to see Nabi Gul play, because I haven't seen much of him in this PSL, and I hope that he can be another prospect in batting for Pakistan, because we're looking for that one batsman from PSL that we haven't found yet.
No, I've heard he's good. I've heard he's destructive, but again, you know, I say he may come out and play a blinder here. I hope I'm wrong. He may come out and play an absolute gem, but again, you know, in a situation like this with Umar Amin well set, and now he's got a couple of boundaries and a six under his belt, it would have been a better idea to send Pollard in. And remember, these two, Amin and Pollard, have batted well together. I think it was against Islamabad, was it? When they made that when they orchestrated that wonderful partnership, he hit Irfan for 3 or 4 in a row. The other, because the responsibility will be on Amin's shoulders.
Absolutely. Okay, Ali, before we let you go tonight, what is your final prediction for the match?
Already? I was enjoying myself.
I know, but I've been told to do that. Still in the dugout.
It's their time, and they seem
hungry. They seem hungry.
Yeah. Use the right word. They seem wired.
Absolutely.
And they look very, very determined to do this. Again, Peshawar Zalmi have a very powerful side. There's still some power left to come in the shape of Pollard and Sammy. They've got a bowling attack, a fast bowling battery, which is firing on all cylinders. So it's certainly not going to be easy for Quetta. But I don't know. I just have a sneaky feeling that Quetta are going to win their first PSL.
Right. We'll have to wait and watch for that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. It's going to be headlines from our studio. We'll see you in a bit.
जोश दिखाते तू और बाजा बड़ा